to the press conference for the first big fight card of 2018, the first big fight card at the Barclays Center in 2018, and Showtime's first big card of the year. This is a great night for boxing, actually. We were just discussing this. It seems that that January date, that first date of the year, drums up a lot of excitement, and it's a great turnout today. And we have a great turnout at the Barclays Center on Saturday night. Ticket sales are going really, really well. Fans, if you want your tickets, call now. Call Ticketmaster, or go on Ticketmaster.com, BarclaysCenter.com. Go to Barclays Center box office. Get your tickets now. We're going to have a great, great crowd on Saturday night, and it's going to be an exciting night from top to bottom. And it should be, because you have one of the best young fighters in the world fighting a guy who's one of the best fighters in the world. The best fighting the best, that's what it's all about. And that's the main event you have on Saturday night. When you have Errol Spence, you don't have to say a lot about Errol. His rep is speaking for itself. And Lamont Peterson's a guy with a tremendous resume, a champion in his own right. You know, anybody who thinks that Errol Spence can look past Lamont Peterson doesn't know Lamont Peterson and hasn't paid attention to this man's whole career. There's no doubt that Errol is one of the best young fighters in the game. There's also no doubt that he's going to be tested to the max this Saturday night, because he's in there with another champion. And that's the way it's supposed to be. So this Saturday night, Showtime Championship Boxing, presented by Premier Boxing Champions at the Barclays Center. The telecast begins 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. The doors in the first bout are at 5:30. There'll be a live stream of two of the undercard bouts featuring Marcus Brown and Adam Kanofsky. In the audience right now, Yago Palazzi, stand up, Yago. Yago will be fighting Adam Kanofsky on the undercard. Francie and Tutu. Francie will be fighting Marcus Brown on the undercard. I think part of the reason why we're doing so great Saturday night is that the tickets for this event were priced perfectly. They start at $50. They're affordable. There are great seats still available, and there are plenty of seats, you know, upstairs for those who want to join us. It's going to be a great night of boxing, and it's going to be a great night for Brooklyn boxing. I'd like to bring up the man who is responsible for Brooklyn boxing. He's a man that runs the Barclays Center. He's been really busy lately, out of pocket, working on a bunch of stuff, but he was able to join us today. I want to thank him for everything he's done for boxing in New York, and for boxing particularly at the Barclays Center and Brooklyn boxing. Brett, your mark.
Thank you, everyone. I'll keep this relatively short. Really excited about Saturday night. We've been very fortunate now. It's our second year to be the first big event of the year. You know, when you think about boxing in the sport, and I think that's a big part of why there's so much enthusiasm for this Saturday night. There's an appetite to kind of get back into the game, and thankfully we're hosting the first big fight of the year. Want to start off by welcoming back Errol and Lamont to the Barclays Center to Brooklyn. You both have been there before, and thrilled to have you back. Robert, we're pleased that you finally decided to come to Brooklyn, take your game here. And as I said to you earlier, I first met you. Where was that you fought and I was there? This isn't Reading, Pennsylvania. You know, this is Brooklyn. This is the real deal, and we're excited to have you with us. Javier, the last time you fought at Barclays Center, you won your world title. So welcome back. Happy to have you with us. Unfortunately, Marcus and Adam could not be with us today, but Marcus Brown has fought at Barclays Center more times than any other fighter in our building. So obviously he's part of the family. And Adam, he's fought there a couple of times, and he's also fought the Coliseum, another building that we own. So we're thrilled to welcome him back as well. I'd be remiss if, first and foremost, I didn't thank PBC, Lou DiBella, Stephen Espinoza, our great partners. We're on to creating something really special in Brooklyn when you think about our boxing program, and we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. So look forward to seeing everyone on Saturday night, and we're in store for a great card. Thank you.
Before I bring Stephen up, I just want to acknowledge the other people at the dais. Two of the best trainers in the game at the days. Both of these gentlemen in the main event are fortunate to have guys that are teachers, you know, real old school trainers. You know, you don't want to sit here all the time and reminisce and say things were better in the old days or whatever, but, you know, there are a lot of trainers out there, and there are a lot of good trainers out there today, but, I mean, when it comes to training, things may have been a little bit better in the old days. But these two gentlemen are throwbacks. These are guys that know the game inside and out, that are capable of teaching their fighters as good as their fighters are. Barry Hunter, one of the best in the game, with Lamont Peterson, Mr. Charles over here, Mr. James over here, I'm spacing out. The Trainer of the Year for 2017, and I got a mental block. Derek James, I've done this more than once. You know what, I corrected myself this time, Derek, without looking at a piece of paper. But Derek has had an unbelievable year. He was named Trainer of the Year by ESPN, by Yahoo, by the Sweet Science. It's crazy, and it was a year that's well deserved because this man started out as a boxer and has had even more success as a trainer and really is one of the best young trainers in the world. Congratulations on all the success, Derek. It's well deserved. Robert Easter, the man's a beast. He's one of the longest guys in his weight class I've ever seen. He's got reach, he's got power, he's got boxing ability, he's got all the skills. He's a handful for anybody. And he's facing a guy in Javier Fortuna who's a confident guy that's been a world champion before. And Javier's been talking a big game. Javier's been talking about knockouts. In fact, Robert, Javier's talking about knocking you out on Saturday night. And you know, Javier, like you want to see that. You want to see a guy come into a fight like this with that kind of confidence. So we got a great night, and 2018 for Showtime Championship Boxing is starting out the way 2017 started out. When the best fought the best, when Badou Jack fought James DeGale at the Barclays Center, and we had a great crowd and a great night. And this is going to be another great crowd, another great night, great fights, brought to you by Showtime, brought to you by Steven Espinoza, who right now is been presenting for month after month after month, and it's multiple years at this point, the best in boxing. It's my pleasure to bring up Steven.
Thanks, Lou. Before I get started, I wanted to also add my congratulations to Derek for Trainer of the Year. It's an easy vote this year, well deserved, and congratulations. You know, I love my job. You know, and there's a lot of reasons why, but I'll give you a couple of them. First of all, is I get to work with young men and some older men up here of the character that we have on this stage right now. You know, in terms of representing the sport, you don't get any better than Lamont Peterson and Errol Spence. You don't get better than Derek James and Barry Hunter. You know, the character of these guys, the professionalism, they're classy representatives of the sport. And certainly I'm not leaving out Robert and Javier as well. I'm proud to be working with these guys, and we're proud to be on the network. It's a cliche, but it's true. You can't play boxing. You can play a lot of sports, you don't play boxing. You're in the NFL, you can dog it on a play. You're in the NBA, you can jog back on defense. In boxing, you can't do that. You got to be dedicated. You have to be passionate, and that's what we got up here: is dedication, class, professionalism, and it's going to reflect in the ring. You know, there's a lot of boxing on TV nowadays, which it's a great thing, and it's positive for the sport, and I'm glad. But there is also a danger to that. When there's a lot of boxing on TV, sometimes it all gets grouped together. You know, there's boxing on TV this weekend. You know, this network is doing, the sports network is doing boxing. Boxing's on. But not all boxing is the same. You have to realize this. What we have right here is special. What we're doing on Showtime Championship Boxing is special. This isn't a named fighter versus no one you've ever heard of. This is not, guys that, you've got to Google to figure out where they've been for their entire careers. These are the best in the sport top 10 guy versus top 10 guy. You know, Errol Spence has grown up on Showtime. He made his pro debut on Showbox. He won his world title on Showtime. He's making his first defense on Showtime. Lamont Peterson also grown up on Showtime. This will be his 8th appearance. Been on Showbox 3 times. This will be his 5th appearance on Championship Boxing. One of the strongest resumes in the sport. And gave up his title for this opportunity. You know, think about that again. Lamont had the title, and he gave it up to take this fight. That's the kind of, you know, special fighters we have on this card. You know, Robert Easter and Javier Fortuna. Another matchup of top 10 guys versus top 10 guys. You know, not all boxing is the same. What we have here, what we're doing here, is special. This isn't just another network doing boxing. This is the cream of the crop. This is the best of the best. You know, Kanaki versus, you know, Galadze with Marcus Brown and the Tattoo. You know, those are main events on other networks. You know, and I'm glad that we'll be streaming that, and everyone should be tuning in. It'll be streaming at 7 p.m. This coming weekend. But again, with all the boxing that is going on, let's not group it all together. This is the cream of the crop, the best of the best. What we're doing on Saturday night is special. Thank you.
I'm going to hand it over to one of the busiest men in sports commentary, a guy that's working constantly, and he's on your television constantly. And he deserves to be because he's one of the best. Brian Custer. So Brian, this is all yours. And also translating for Javier Fortuna will be the illustrious Samson Lukovic.
Thank you, Lou. Good afternoon, everybody. Of course, on Saturday night, 2 world title fights on Showtime Championship Boxing. We'll begin tonight with Robert Easter Jr., Javier Fortuna, and Robert making his 3rd title defense of his IBF Lightweight World Championship, so we'll begin there. And Robert, considering it is your 3rd title defense, I think the last time we saw you in the ring up against a crafty lefty, Dennis Shafikov, and it was really an all-out, all-action fight. So given that, you're facing another lefty who's got punching power, says he's coming to knock you out. Any concerns facing another lefty?
No, there's no concerns. You know, my last fight, I was against a lefty, tough lefty. You know, I made that fight hard. But coming out different this fight, you know, using my my reach and my feet and my speed. You know, Javier Fortuna is a 2-time former world champion. I just found that out. Really don't know much about the guy. You know, I'm not, you know, shying that he's a 2-time world champion, but I know what I came to do. You know, and that's to put hands on a man and man down. You know, and I'm a world champion, as you know. And these people know what I bring to the fight game. You know, I don't leave without my strap. You know, so it's man down come January 20th.
All right. Javier, you know, he just basically said he really didn't know that you were a former world champion until just now. You think that he made a mistake in taking this fight against you?
Bueno, para mí yo creo que ya es tarde para él darse cuenta ahora que fui 2 veces campeón.
It's too late now to find out that I was twice world champion.
Yo lo que espero que él y su equipo no tengan ninguna excusa el día 20 cuando estemos arriba del ring.
I hope so that I have no excuse on the 20, on top of the ring.
Porque ese título me lo llevo yo para República Dominicana y la fanaticada del boxeo.
And that title, I will take it to the Dominican Republic for my fans.
Ya hasta ese día llegó él perteneciendo sobre ese título.
I'm dreaming about it, and I will take it with me.
Cuando yo por delante de ese título, será mío.
God in front, I will bring that title for me.
Robert, just your response.
He got a man talking for him, but he ain't gonna have a man fighting for him in there. That's all I gotta say.
Javier, what would a win over a world champion like Robert Easter Jr. do for you in your career?
Eso sería, ganando a Robert Easter, sería un galardón para mi carrera y para mi equipo y mi país.
A win to, which I win to him, it will be great for my country and for my friends, for my family.
And Robert, we'll wrap it up with this. Certainly, we're looking forward to Saturday night. What about the future for you? Will we see you fighting a lot more in the year? You've talked about unifying titles. What does 2018 look like for Robert Easter Jr.?
Of course, I want to unify these titles. You know, boxing is all about showing that you're the best and fighting the best, and that's what I want to do. You know, fight these other champions in my weight class. And most importantly, just stay healthy and remain on top. And, you know, finish the year off undefeated like the years before.
Again, that will be the first fight you'll see Saturday night. And then we come to the main event. The welterweight scrap. Errol the Truth Spence taking on Lamont Peterson. IBF welterweight world championship at stake. And, you know, Errol, I think we talked a little bit about this fight not too long ago. But before you were world champion, you know, people knew you were the truth, but some people even questioned whether or not he had the goods. Now that you're world champion, is there anything left for you to prove? What does this fight mean to you?
This fight means everything to me. It's still a lot to prove. I still have a chip on my shoulder. Like I said, I want to clean out the division. You know, I want to be the last man standing, so that's what I'm going to do. I want to fight the top fighters. I want to beat the top fighters at my division. So, you know, I got Lamont. So it's fight time.
Lamont, when you look at your resume, you fought some top guys. I mean, you can go down the names from Khan to everybody that you've been in the ring with. So given that, what does this fight mean to you at this stage of your career against somebody like Errol Spence?
Well, when I got into boxing, you get into anything, you have goals. First, you know, you want to be, you know, starting in the amateurs, a national champion. You know, you want to fight on an Olympic team. You want to become a world champion as a professional. But the ultimate goal is to be in the Hall of Fame. Honestly speaking, me looking at that, and that's my goal. But at this point in my career, I wouldn't put me into the Hall of Fame. But with the win over a guy like, you know, Errol Spence, and, you know, if everyone decides to actually fight each other at welterweight, and if I can make it through all of them names, I'll put myself in. So that's why I signed up for these fights, and that's my goal, and of course I'm going to give them all to get there.
I remember you said, Errol, that, listen, maybe at the beginning we may box a little, but eventually this was probably going to be a dog fight. Do you anticipate on Saturday that's what Brooklyn and the world's going to see, a dog fight, and a fight where Lamont Peterson brings you in and says, okay, you're two of the best body punchers in the game, let's slug it out?
I think so. I mean, like a lot of people are kind of putting this fight to the side, thinking it's going to be an easy fight. And anybody who follows Lamont Peterson, you know, they know, you know, it's going to be a hard fight. He always comes in shape. You know, he's always in dog shape, has a lot of experience, and has a lot of skill, boxing and banging. So I know I'm in for a tough fight. I know it could be a dog fight. And that's why, you know, I wanted to fight Lamont. Lamont was the only guy left. Nobody else wanted to fight. So my manager came to me and said, what about Lamont? I said, yeah, of course, because nobody wants to fight Lamont. So I took the fight, man. It's going to be a tough fight, man. It's going to be a tough, rugged fight. If you watch Lamont fight, you know that later on in the fight, you know, it gets rough. You know, he starts out boxing, then he ends up standing there in the pain fighting toe to toe. So, and you watch my fights, you know my fights always get rough. Either the guy's fleeing or the guy has no choice but to stand there and fight. So I mean, you know what it's gonna be. gonna be a real fight. It might not be a lot of talking and a lot of, you know, propaganda and, you know, and we pushing each other and spitting each other's face and things like that. But you know what you get out of Errol Spence and Lamont Peterson fight. You get a dog fight, you get a great fight, you get a fan-friendly fight.
Sir. You know, I think going into this one, I think you fought one time last year, you fought basically one time last year. Will we see Lamont Peterson more active this year, 2018?
Hope so. You left it to me, I'll fight every month. I love boxing that much. But I know, you know, it's a business side of boxing, and I'm okay with that. But I know, you know, with a victory this weekend, it helps me fight more often. You know, you kind of get caught in those situations where a lot of times you're at the top level and you might lose a fight or two, and then those top guys don't want to take that chance. They know your worth, but they can always use that against you. So I think I can regain that, my footing with that, with a victory this weekend.
And when you look at your resume and the number of people you fought, there's no question, people don't question your credentials, but then they'll say, but you know, when it seems like when he's fought top guys, he's come up short. How do you respond to that?
I can't respond to it. Honestly, I mean, it's in the history books. It's written. It's over and done with. However you feel about that, I respect it. It's nothing I can do about it.
Errol, you talked about wiping out the welterweight division. Does that mean fighting actively, like 3 times a year? What does that mean to you? And you talked about wiping out the division and being more active.
Well, that means staying active. I haven't been an activist recently. You know, due to waiting. You know, I had to wait for my title defense and things like that. And then, you know, I had a lot of guys, you know, not answering the call. You know, a lot of guys, you know, Al's in call these guys saying that, they reported mention my name. You know, they try to make the excuse this and this and that. Okay, I have a belt now. I went over there and got the belt. So what's the excuse now? And I'm still calling it. I have a belt and I'm still calling these dudes out. Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, all these guys. You wouldn't be sitting here if Keith Thurman or Danny Garcia, Sean Porter said they'll take the fight. You know? I should have been world champion and had to call these dudes out. And Lamont Peterson answered the call like a real fighter, like a real soldier should do.
So what do you see in 2018 for you? In a perfect world, what do you see for Errol Spence in 2018?
Well, in a perfect world, I'd be unifying with Keith Thurman or something like that. Or, well, I want to fight 3 times a year. I'm going to stay active. I'm not going to wait on, I'm not going to wait on anybody or, something you don't get back is time. You don't get time back. So I'm not going to wait around and be waiting on fighters to get ready and, they need to have tune-up fights or they want to fight me in 2020 and things like that. I'm not going to wait at all.
Barry, you've been with Lamont a long time. Why don't you tell the people what you've seen in camp and maybe give them a sense of something that they don't know about Lamont going into this fight?
I can't say it's nothing that'll be different. And you know us, and everybody we prepare for, you can be 0-20 or 20-0. We prepare for you the same way, as if you're a world champion, undisputed or what have you. This is a sport that you can never ever sleep on anybody, because all it takes is one punch. And if you listen to what Errol just said, they didn't answer the phone for him. Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, we going down the line. Lamont was the same way. He was avoided, as if they were boogeymen or something. We answered the call for Keith. We answered the call for Danny again. And y'all guys saw that what happened the first time. And Kell Brook. As a matter of fact, before Earl fought Kell, we got the call for Kell. We agreed to the fight, but it went out the window. So, I'm with Earl. How can you say that you are the best and you don't fight the best? You had Ray Leonard, you had Hagler, you had Hearns, and Duran. What made boxing great back then, all those guys fought each other. They had no problem with doing so. And we the same way. I have no problem if I put my son on the stage in the ring versus whomever, because I know how we train. I know what we prepare for. So I don't think that you will see, or we didn't do anything different. We treated this camp like we treat every camp. We train hard. But that's why we don't get up here clowning out and all that old garbage, because for the most part, when people do that, they scared anyway. These what matter in this sport right here. And just like anything else, come Saturday, we'll be ready to do what we do.
Derek, Trainer of the Year. With that comes a lot of notoriety. Does more pressure come with that now? People look at you differently when you're Trainer of the Year and you've got a world champion, a couple of world champions in your stable.
Yeah, you know, it's a little different situation, but I don't buy into it. I don't listen to it. I just kind of keep pushing on and try to continue to be the best that I am, and that to give my guys whatever they need to give them. And you know, I don't buy it. I mean, I've been recognized as that, and I appreciate that, and I love it, but it doesn't make me. You know, I just continue to keep building, keep developing myself and develop my guys, because there's more for me out there. I'm still young in the sport, and so I just keep moving.
You know, I was reading something, and it almost gave the impression that he's a newbie to the scene, and he's splashed on the scene now with Errol and Charlo, but you've been in the fight game a long time. Now you're going up against, training-wise, one of the best. Is there any kind of competition between the trainers when you get to fight like this?
No, it's not. I mean, I've been in boxing for 40 years. Started boxing when I was 5 years old, 45 now. And there's no competition between me and Barry. Barry is this guy, he is, and I know I am. My focus is, like I said, to continue to grow, continue to help my guy, Errol and Jamel, Charlo, and Rob, and my other guy be better. And so, and his job is to help his guys, and that's the focus. And when we're in the corner, you know, my deal is for Errol. His deal is for Lamont. And I don't think about beating him. I want my guy to be the best, to go out there and do his deal.
Lastly, for you, Barry, considering these guys sparred together a long time ago, know each other very well, does that experience help at all in a fight like this?
Yes, and it can, and in the case with Errol and Lamont working, and it's funny because I'm sitting here, Freddie was there in camp with us, Mike Stafford over there was in camp with us, Marcus Brown you spoke about was there. We had a great time. So it's almost like a reunion of sorts. Lamont inspired so many different people, you know, and I doubt very seriously if, you know, after that, because he do more teaching than anything, after that if he thought about it anymore. Like Errol said, come Saturday, you're going to have two guys going in there that they're not old, they're not banged up, they're skillful, and they're dog fighters. So it may start off tactical, but somewhere in that fight that night, I think it's going to end up in a war. Other than that, come Saturday, I'm just looking for a great fight. And congratulations to Derek for winning Coach of the Year. I remember when I first seen him come through the scene. He worked hard to get here. They grind to get here just like us. I'm proud of him.
Fantastic. We'll just give you guys the last word and go give it off to the fighters. Lamont, what excites you about this fight?
I'm excited, honestly, and looking forward to the skill level that's going to be displayed this weekend. You know, if people can look at it, you know, it's going to be a rough fight, that's for sure. But what I look forward to is the technique, the skill level, defense, offense, being able to translate between both of them. That's what I'll probably enjoy if I go back. When I go back and watch the fight, that's what I'll be looking at. That's what I'll enjoy. That's the part of boxing that I love.
And Errol, what excites you from Saturday night?
I'm just excited to fight. I just like to fight. I'm excited to fight. I'm excited to be on those bright lights in front of those cameras, in front of all the fans, and
Does it excite you to be back in New York? I mean, obviously you were born here, but obviously I know you're a Dallas guy, went there as a baby, but you still got family here in New York, and
Definitely, I'm excited because you know my family get to see me fight live. You know, they don't have the funds to come, you know, overseas to watch me fight or anywhere else. So, you know, it's exciting for them to come see me fight and display my skills in front of them.
All right, we're going to take some questions from members of the media. We got Matt here.
Keith Heidick from BoxingScene.com. My question is for Lamont. Lamont, what impressed you about Errol's performance against Kell Brook?
He displayed just even taking the fight and going over there, you know, for his first title fight was impressive to me. Because a lot of times when a young fighter, especially one who is talked about as much as Errol is, they kind of take their time and be patient with the fighter, and he normally fights an older, more washed up fighter to get his championship. But he ended up fighting a guy that was in his prime, in his country, and to will himself to win that fight says a lot about him. I was impressed.
Stouser.
Lamont and Errol, you've conducted yourselves as exemplary sportsmen, and your teams have also. We seem to have lost that civility in our national dialogue today. Lamont, you're from Washington. I wonder if you and then Errol could comment on how you feel about all that and what's happening in the country at large.
You had two questions? You said how
do you feel about the national dialogue today and the lack of respect that seems to be emanating from the White House towards people?
I mean, it's fight week. We ready to fight.
You're ready to fight, but you treat each other with respect. And Errol, you commented the last time you were in New York about the national anthem protests, and I wondered if you could pick up on that. And both of you talked in general about what you see and how you feel about what's happening in this country today.
I mean,
and if Barry and Derek want to join in, that's fine.
I mean, it's basically what I stated, you know, when we talked at the press conference. I mean, people have freedom of speech to say whatever they want to say, so I mean, that's just about it.
Well, for me, I just feel like I'm gonna I respect everyone who get in the ring. And honestly, just if I saw you and didn't know you, I'm gonna respect you. And that's just who I am. I feel like a lot of other people should be that way, but they're not. And I just have to respect that too.
Barry?
I'm with Lamont, you know, but I know where you're coming from. There's been a lack of respect around the world. Cut the TV on, every time you cut the news on. I mean, this is a different place. It's a different world now. So I think, I don't want to sound corny, but we do need more love out here to survive. You know what I mean? If not, you know, it's going to be even worse. So just keep loving each other and doing what we do.
Who's next?
Radio Raheem, Boxing Scene. Errol Spence, you talked about being frustrated trying to get other champions to answer your call, to take fights. I'm curious for you what constitutes a true champion, how you conduct yourself, how you select fights. And Lamont Peterson, you talk about wanting to be in the Hall of Fame. That's what drives you. I'm curious what you think constitutes a Hall of Fame fighter. What gets a guy in there? What does he have to have or do to be worthy of that honor?
Well, I guess I'm on first. For me, of course, you know, winning multiple world titles, being able to do that throughout, you know, the mat. I wouldn't ask anyone to, you know, to jump up weight class like Pacquiao, like that's rare. But to be within that range and to take on all comers at any time and to represent yourself the best way you can. When you get to those big stages and those big fights, I think you have to win more than lose. And at this point, I'm kind of right there. And if I feel like if I can run these last few off for the next few years, I should be good enough to be in.
And you know, what make a true champion is just, you know, I'm not saying, you know, you fight anybody, you know, who calls you out and things like that, because at the end of the day, it's still a business too. You know, you gotta feed your family, you gotta go make sense. But, you know, when a true champion, you know, fight other champions, especially when they're available. If you got another top fighter available, number 2 or 3 top fighter available, you have another champion available, you know, you fight him. Or you don't avoid questions, or you don't, you know, go around questions, or, you know, try to prolong something, or say you're not gonna fight this guy and do this and that. You know, you fight that fighter, you fight the next champion that's available. So that's what a true champion does.
Guys, we want to thank you, all of you members of the media, the opportunity to get your one-on-ones. I want to say to Javier, to Lamont, to Errol, to Robert, best of luck to you Saturday night. It all begins at 9 p.m. Eastern on Showtime Championship Boxing. As we conclude, we would like to have the fighters to face off.
Right down here first. Right here as well.